will go to church. I'm not asking you if you're going. I'm telling you, tomorrow morning, everybody in the house be in that car at 9:45. He didn't ask us if we was going to church. He just told us that's what we were going to do. Then he said if you're going to school, he didn't want you to work. He wanted you to focus on one thing at a time. So if you were in school, you did your schoolwork. There was no asking, can I get a job? Because the answer would be no. He says, study. And then we'll talk about a job thing later. He wanted you to get your lesson. And then he would say, and that teacher better not call me on my job. Don't call on my daddy's job to talk about your bad behavior. Then my daddy said, you will respect your mother. You will not ask us why, or why you can't do this or do that, because the answer, y'all, would still be because I said so. Y'all got a daddy like me. My daddy said, after you graduate high school, if you want to go to college, I got you. But if you don't go to college, you will get a job. And then you're going to pay your mother some rent. I was like, oh, okay. And then he didn't say pay me. He said, you're going to pay your mama rent. And my brother said, well, why I got to pay her some rent? He said, because she washed your clothes. He didn't ask you for $10 for soap powder. He didn't ask you for anything when it came down to cooking, no groceries, no. But he did say, you will pay your mother some rent. Those terms, y'all, that's not causing your child or your children to wrath. It's called teaching responsibilities. Sometimes I notice that grown children have a tendency to act like spoiled brats because they were given things that they were not deserving. And then when they get turned loose in the world, they out of hand. And then the only thing that can keep them now is called jail, because they don't respect any authority from anybody. So point number 2, godly fathers bring children up with nurture. They nurture them to health. The second thing Paul said to fathers is a word of counsel. After telling dad what not to do, he said what you should do is give children plenty of nourishing. Now, what does that mean, and what does that look like? Some people say rearing children. I don't like that term because it sounds like that you're pushing them to the back of the rear of something. I like the term bringing them up. The Bible says raise or bring them up. How should we do that? In the nurture of the Lord. Just like a farmer raises tender plants and water them and cover them from the frost and feed them fertilizer, so they'll grow tall and produce.